Rain, Canto 6. They came out, leading their cattle and their goats, their youngest running ahead, their elders trailing behind. At first Maya could not distinguish them one from another. Their coarse watery garments fell dripping away, and were replaced with tanned bark, painted hide, woven cloth, and fly whisks made of oxtail and decorated with feathers and cowrie shells. Young men rose out of the water in charged groups behind the elders, bouncing along on taut, thewy legs, their energy barely contained, their skin glowing. Shining brass rings adorned their ankles and shins, their wrists and forearms. They sang just under their breath as they went, private songs of future valor, of glory yet to come. The women walking behind the children came silently, moving to the rhythm of the young men's song, punctuating it now and again with exclamation of eh. An old man, walk dancing in front of the emerging water procession, sang more slowly and more loudly, pronouncing memories of the future. The goat hoof wreath adorning his ankles rustled as he stamped his feet to the rhythm of his song, plucking a small nyatiti in accompaniment. The instrument emitted a round, hollow sound that washed over the water and mingled with the cot's liquid voice. For a fleeting moment, Maya saw a young man who wore a face she thought she recognized. "Alex!" she called, reaching. Had she finally found him? Hope knocked hard at her breath from within, but the beloved face quickly disappeared and was replaced by another that only slightly resembled her brother's. His eyes turning to look for her beckoning voice, the man slowed and his gaze settled upon hers. Although no photographs existed of the man now looking at her, Maya knew the jutting cheekbones and the deep-set eyes of her great-great-grandfather Olo. He resembled Mama Koth and Gabriel and Esther and even Alex too. Family lore said that he had died during a prolonged and exhausting trance, the kind that so often took dreamwalkers who got lost in their own waking dreams. One of his sons, a few of his grandchildren, and some of their children and grandchildren were touched, and their lives too were imperiled by dreamwalker trances. Esther humorously, or poetically, called them her afflicted kinsmen, hapless souls stranded in a world that no longer had a place for their kind. Of all her siblings, only Maya appeared to have inherited the traits of a dreamwalker, but there was no one to guide her properly. David, Maya's eldest brother, was born untouched, and his twin Alex lived for less than a day. Before Esther was born, Akoth feared that the dreamwalker had skipped another generation. Her son, Omondi, was a dreamwalker, and his son, Gabriel, born after his father's death, was touched, but never became more than an ordinary dreamer. Her daughter, Akinyi, was also touched, yet she too showed no signs of becoming. However, Akinyi's son, Ochieng, could well have become a great dreamwalker. When he died alone in St. Petersburg, he was lost to memory, even to his grandmother, and it was rumored that his unsettled will sometimes haunted the lake. And then Esther was born, and Akoth was reassured that the infant would keep the memory of Olo's clan for her generation. She would need special education, so Akoth called the spirit of her own grandmother, Nyanam, to help prepare the girl, and Esther took after Akoth in many ways. She had a long and clear memory of every part of her great-grandmother's life, along with all the lives that had come before. From an early age, she felt the joys and pains of kin and stranger alike, as if she herself lived the cause. This made her grow up gentle and unassuming, unlike her forceful, obdurate brother and her stubborn, absent-minded sister. Watching her great-grandchildren grow up, Akoth believed she would never again meet people quite as beautiful. and yet she also worried that everything that could ensure they thrived was vanishing, forgotten in the changing world. It caused her pain to watch David remain a child and to watch Maya lose her way in her mysteriously clairvoyant inner world. To keep Esther on the right path, Akoth encouraged the girl to take the baby Hera, a clean soul, delightful to all, under her wing. Akoth, who lived for 111 reigns, until the year Esther turned 26, taught the child all the family lore. With these stories, Esther wove together the history of her afflicted kin, and her memory strengthened and grew with every new telling of how they came into being. The pain brought about by the family affliction kept Esther's memory of those who succumbed ever raw. One was her father Gabriel's long-lost older brother, the other a cousin to both Anna, her mother, and Gabriel as well. The first uncle expired gently with his head on his mother's lap after a prolonged seizure following what must have been a stroke. He was 19 and the new father of a young baby who also expired quickly soon after. The second uncle, the luminous Ochieng, died alone in a hotel suite in St. Petersburg. He had gone to Russia to study during a time when many young men were moving out into the world to become teachers and doctors and lawyers and engineers. He passed the entrance exam brilliantly and became an internationally celebrated phenomenon. He arrived in St. Petersburg with the highest recommendation and was treated like a visiting dignitary, so coveted was the spot he had won. He wrote home regularly to his grandmother, Mama Koth. His cousin, Anna Dongo, wanted to be just like him and languished in bitter regret because, of all her siblings and cousins, only the boys got to go to university, at home or abroad. The coroner's report indicated a cause of death that nobody remembered anymore. All they did remember was that he had died by his own will. Like his great-grandfather, he had been born a potent dream-walker. Like Maya, he did not receive the right guidance for his kind. Just before she died, after 111 long reigns in the world of time, Mama Koth gave Esther a birthday gift consisting of all the letters Ochieng had written to her every day for 11 months from St. Petersburg. She told Esther about how often he wrote continually for a week, and then on Mondays he would send his week's writings in the post. Sometimes the letters arrived quickly, and sometimes they were delayed for months. Sometimes, after a month or two of no news from Ochieng, a great windfall of letters that had gone astray en route would appear in the post office box in Kisumu town. Then, unopened, they were delivered to their destination, the sprawling compound of Jokolo in the bay by the shores of the lake. Akoth would sort them all carefully in the calendar order of the postmark date, unseal them, and then, after cleaning her reading glasses, pore over them slowly, savoring every word her luminous grandson had written. May God bless Namlolwe and the river and the song that bore you, my beloved Mama Koth, each letter began, and every one ended. I dream of home every day and long to return to the song of the river that bore me. Akoth kept the letters in a small wooden trunk, along with her reading glasses and an aged New Testament annotated with prayer in her own hand. When she gave the missives to Esther, she removed the gospel and the glasses and handed over the trunk filled with only her grandson's letters. She told Esther to read them all to Maya and to make sure that the fledgling dreamwalker would recognize her uncle when he emerged from the river and found his way back home.